since I started doing this job as an intern back at the defunct Channel R in 2004, and I worked in a structured newsroom from 2013, never ever have I seen Ghanaian sports people leave this country, or at least a majority of Ghanaian sports people leave this country without or with issues. When players leave the local league and they are going outside the country, there are no issues. You see, because there's a certain line that is already established. I play for Accra Hearts of Oak. I wear jersey number 18. I've scored 35 goals in the league. Real Madrid say they are interested in me. If Real Madrid say they are interested in me, they speak to my club. They agree a fee. They speak to me. We agree terms. Everything sorts itself out. I board a plane and I go. What a lot of people don't know is that I don't just get up to go and board the plane. I'll go to the FA, get all the necessary documentation, what they call the ITC, International Transfer Certificate,
right,
to prove that this player exists in Ghana. He's captured in our system. He is going to Real Madrid. FIFA knows all of this. So nothing, FIFA is never blindsided. Right? So I go and play for Real Madrid. When I get to Real Madrid, because I'm going to work for Real Madrid, even though my work is being a footballer, it is work nonetheless. It's like leaving Ghana to go and work as a pharmacist in Canada or US or in Russia. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Once I'm going to work there, Real Madrid will have to, the visa they'll have to get me guarantees that I can work.
Yes.
Guarantees that I can live there. Guarantees that I can access healthcare. Guarantees that I should pay tax there. Guarantees that I can live there without hassle. So far as I respect the law.
Yeah.
So I can buy a house.
So work, they give you a work permit.
A work permit. I can buy a car. I can leave my apartment and go and chill and come back. So far as I'm not breaking the law, I'm fine. And even when I break the law, because it's in a structured environment, they can easily put together all my information and punish me accordingly.
Right.
Maybe it is a fine.
Yes.
Maybe they suspend my driver's license. Maybe if it is a worse crime, they send me back to Ghana. Or in some cases, in prison.
They'll deal with you there.
They'll deal with it because everything is structured. So we should, when we say safe migration, a lot of, even lower level, even Division 2. Even Division 2, my senior Godfrey Akoto and his Division 2 club, when the players are leaving, they are not on anybody's blind side.
No.
When they are going to all the places they go to, everything is structured. Everybody knows where the player is.
Even the academy system.
Even the academy system. When they are living here at 16, 17, everybody knows where because there's no way a player lives on their own. They will go through the FA. Even the foreign ministry knows already, because once you bear a passport, the foreign ministry knows you. Let's say there are even times where documents need to be legalized. You cannot do that legalization outside, say, the foreign ministry. I have a mate of mine. She's working in Ethiopia. Before she left Ghana, she had to take a document to the foreign ministry to you know, the things they do. Yeah. So there's no way you can leave and the foreign ministry won't know that you've left somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that I can understand a few will fall by the wayside. So if the YEA wants to handle the few that will go through the illegal side, no problem. But even that, so that is the first question. Now, if we say that 15,000 young West Africans attempt to migrate each year through irregular routes, it is true. But the 15,000, where are they from? In Ghana, do we have that problem? Okay. Do we have that problem? Is it widespread? When you query the data, how many Ghanaians or young Ghanaians are in this pool of 15,000? That says that 15,000 West Africans. So how many Ghanaians are in there? Okay? How many Ghanaians are in there? Right? And even if the point I was making, look, if you look at player exports, when you go through FIFA data, FIFA easily tracks. In Ghana, we export players well, and this is properly captured in the FIFA things.
Yeah.
the FIFA transfer report, for example, in 2021, it captures how many Ghanaian players are going through the proper channel. Not a lot of them fall outside the net. You get not a lot of them fall outside the net. So I understand the YEA's concern, but I think that the YEA shouldn't be too concerned because not a lot of Ghanaian players are falling outside the illegal net. What I think the YEA, and I go back to the point I made earlier last week, and Ray made that point. If the YEA wants to help, wonderful. Try set up academies, right? The youth resource centers, they are under your purview. Improve them. Some of them add academies, or if you like, attach academies to all of them. Then you are doing a proper job of engaging young people. Yeah. When they not only football but proper education, when they come out, then you can have a conversation with the GFA about, okay, is there a national framework or a national pipeline that we can funnel all these players through, right? Can they form the next under 17 or this under 50, whatever? Yeah. So that will be your contribution. But at this level that you want to jump into this space, you know, what does it see? The part about, I'm trying to see something. Partner with accredited agencies and all. Actually, the agencies already deal, they're already in the football ecosystem. They deal with clubs. Agencies exist in the wider, so you get my point? Like, they don't exist outside the football ecosystem. No. They are in there. And there are rules to how they operate. When they take a player and they want to move the player on, there's no way this will bypass the FA or FIFA. Okay, so Ray, so those are my queries. I just want the YEA to know that, you see, these things. Yeah, I
just wanted to say something. So the communique said people are miscommunicating what they meant. But the thing is that when Malik Basintale posted on Facebook, he said, and I quote, "A game changer to secure foreign club slots for young and ambitious football." So he said it. It's not as if people are miscommunicating.
Very good. So our reaction is based
on what he said.
Yes. And as we've established, the YEA not in this
they
life.
Can't secure slots for anybody.
The YEA is not empowered to secure football slots.
No. Yeah, Nathan. You see, I'll get into this document very well. But before I begin, you see, Nathan, let me first say that this release from the YEA and the Sports Ministry clearly is an afterthought. It's an afterthought, and they have just put this together to attempt to shift our minds from what the YEA CEO posted on social media, when he was emphatic that there was going to be relief for football players locally because they were going to seek opportunities for them abroad. Nathan, this statement is an afterthought.
Okay.
Now let me attempt to deal with the matters in there. You see, in the first place, when something is not broken, you don't try to fix it. If the YEA and the Sports Ministry are aware, this issue they've raised about safe migration of players and all has never been an issue for us.
Sport FM.
When players are supposed to move from the shores of Ghana, whether they play for an academy or whether they play for a professional club, there are structures that they go through.
Yeah.
And sitting at the base of it is the Ghana Football Association. And the supervisor is FIFA with a transfer matching system.
What they call the TMS.
Every single player who leaves the shores of this country, the records go through that system. To the extent that even the club that player played for, in terms of development, is in that transfer matching system.
Now, for listeners, it is how come clubs in Ghana can make some money off transfers. They call it the player passport.
Yes.
So they track all the teams you played for, and it goes down to the very bottom
where you started your development.
So if you started your development at Sporty FC, and then you went on to
Hearts of Oak,
and then you went on to
Manchester United.
If Manchester United sign you for $10 million from Hearts of Oak, Sporty FC that developed you will get small. Why? Because everything is entered into the system.
So
when Thomas Partey moved on, from Atletico
to Arsenal.
Tema
Youth.
Yes. Joseph Pinto.
Yes.
Tema Youth made some money.
Yes. So you see, there's a system, there's a structure. And Nathan, when was the last time you heard the FA having to go and rescue Ghanaian players outside the shores of Ghana because they are stranded or because they've been trafficked or they've been smuggled to other countries? When was the last time you heard that?
We are not saying that smuggling doesn't happen, though.
It happens.
Yes.
But when was the last time? Unless those players don't want to become pro. And if your intention is to make sure players become pro by doing what you want to do, clearly that place is well taken care of. Any player who wants to turn pro and wants to go abroad, there's a pathway.
There's a pathway.
So you, the YEA or the sports ministry, cannot create a pathway for them. You cannot. What you are supposed to do as a sports ministry is what Nathan has said. Find a way to make sure you have academies that are developing these players, expert coaches who are developing these players, to make them attractive, to make them lucrative, to put them in a position where they are sought after. Okay? So Nathan, there's an interesting statistic that they reveal over there.
Yes, they said 15,000
young West Africans attempt to migrate each year through irregular routes, right?
Yes.
Falling victim to fraudulent agents and verified contract and exploitation. Nathan, has that been the norm here in Ghana? Has that been the practice here?
No,
But you see, this data they've brought, they sourced it from an article that was written in 2015.
Okay, 10 years ago.
It was a Reuters article. And you see, Nathan, when you want to release a statement based on proper statistics, current data. When you go to 2015 and you go and reference someone's article, when you have clearly not done the research yourself to find your own numbers. So out of the 15,000, you ask the question, how many Ghanaians are in there?
Yeah.
Now, Nathan, December 7, 2015, a reporter called Kieran Gilbert, who writes for the Reuters, wrote an article, Chasing Dreams, Young Footballers Duped, Dumped by Traffickers. Now, this story, they started their research from Dakar, went into Sierra Leone, and went into Liberia. Because those were the places where a lot of player agents were hoodwinking unsuspecting footballers and deceiving them into mainstream Europe, leaving them stranded. Eventually, some of them are trafficked for sex, some of them becoming New Work boys and all. That was the investigation that was done in 2015. And that was when this report came out with the 15,000 young players moved out of West Africa each year under false pretenses, estimates the charity food solidaire, all of them. They've been monitoring them. So that 15,000 number that they picked it from the article in 2015. Today, the YEA and the sports ministry should tell us how many players are trafficked or smuggled out via similar means. Again, they should tell us. The new data they have, they should tell us. FIFA has found a way to block all those loopholes. Okay? So between 2015 and 2025, a lot of work has gone on into protecting players, protecting player movement by FIFA, because they were concerned when all of these things were coming up.
Yeah.
So the Sierra Leonean players were complaining that a lot of the boys were being deceived and moved out. Even one popular Sierra Leonean player, Al Bangura, confirmed that indeed he was trafficked and he escaped when he was being forced into sex trade. That was a Sierra Leonean. Liberians were also part of it. That was where this report came from. So if they are referencing this 15,000 in 2025, when as at 2015, FIFA has tried to find a way to sanitize the system and make sure players are protected, what is the YEA and the sports ministry trying to do at this particular point in time? How many Ghanaians do they know are in that report? And if they are looking for reports of players who are being smuggled out and trafficked, the GFA should have it. What numbers did the GFA give them?
Yeah.
Okay, what numbers did they pick from FIFA? Today, internationally, if you look at the latest global report on player transfer and all, FIFA is telling us as of 2024, 176 different players from 176 different nationalities were transferred. A total of 2,350 players were transferred from Brazil. 2,350 players were transferred in 2024. Brazil and Argentina topped with 1,217 transfers.
Okay.
United Kingdom 1,078, France 1,052, Nigeria 954. FIFA has the data.
Did they mention Ghana's data?
No, if I go down, I'll bring you Ghana. Okay, they just that is the
like those are the
high numbers,
the headlines.
Okay, so FIFA indeed knows where the players move. So if they are moving from Brazil, they are moving from Argentina, they know. So what is this matter?
It's not like we have a player smuggling problem.
You see, Nathan,
we don't.
You see, when something is not broken, you don't attempt to fix it. They do not know, and that's what I'm saying. That this statement is just to cover up for the mess or
the heat.
No,
you see that came last.
You see, whatever Basintale put out, clearly, if you sought to attempt to convince local players that there was hope for them, they were going to get teams abroad. That is how we understood it, based on what he wrote. And if they are trying to use this statement to cover it up, this statement is even more deficient than what he wrote. This statement is even more deficient than what he wrote on social media, because the things in there, the things they are saying in there, is the YEA and the sports ministry now trying to enter the spaces of agents or the space of player recruitment, issuing ITC to go to foreign affairs and all, and IOM, International Migration and Organization for Migration, and bringing all of these together. Has there been a problem of transferring players from Ghana abroad? Has there been a problem? Has the FA told us they've had difficulties? So when Right to Dream are exporting their players, have they had difficulties moving their players on?
No, they do that.
They need help from the sports ministry and the YEA and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Do they need that? You see, that's what I'm saying. There's no problem. You want to create a problem and try to solve a problem that does not exist.
No way.
When the YEA took over, did they do any research on their own to find out that indeed Ghanaian players had been smuggled to YEA and were struggling, UAE and were struggling, or smuggled to Qatar and were struggling, or Saudi and were struggling? Nathan, all those countries, every football club there is registered under FIFA.
So no way that a player shows up mysteriously,
no and then the club will say, "Oh, this is Nathan Kwao. He didn't go through the FA system, but we've brought him to come and play for us." It doesn't happen.
The sanctions they are going to face,
it doesn't happen.
No way.
You see, they should go back to the drawing board. Whatever it is they want to do, they should fine-tune it properly and come out. Because this tangent they want to go on trying to what, Nathan? They say what? Migration. The focus of the YEA and the sports ministry is to have a proper conveyor belt for our youth. Right from secondary school, if the plan of the YEA and the sports ministry is to make sure these boys develop into top talent,
there is a way to
do it. That is what you should be focusing on. If these boys come of age and they have to move on because of their quality talent, agents spot them and want to move them on, there's a way to go about it. The Ghana Football Association is there to facilitate all of this. There's a system that is foolproof to check all of this. If that is what they want to do, they should go back to the drawing board and come back. But this thing about player protection and player migration issues, look, it doesn't even come in. Now, Nathan, come in. Let me bring you into Allies. Into Allies FC, as we speak now, they are in Division 2. But as at 2021, okay?
Inter Allies. You mean Jimmy Cobbler's Inter Allies?
Yes. As at 2021.
Delali Senaya's Inter Allies. Papa Mensah's Inter Allies.
Yes. So it was held.
Yeah.
That Inter Allies were Ghana's biggest exporter of talent in Africa.
When was this?
As at August 2021.
Okay.
So you look at the players, and this was published by FIFA. FIFA did the research and they published it. Now Inter Allies managed to sell as many as 64 players, with the closest challengers being Wadi Degla, the Egyptian team, who sold 52. Now, some of the players Inter Allies sold at the time: Joseph Edu, Clifford Abuaji, Baba Mensah, Papa Mensah, Patrick Podo, Abdul Halik, Victorian Adebayo. Nathan, all these players, they went through a proper system.
So you could tell where they were going.
If today you go to the FA and ask for records where these players started playing their football,
is their record
before they moved out from Inter Allies, the record is there. There's no problem. Okay? There's no problem. What you should be interested in, what model were Inter Allies running? Can government have an Inter Allies kind of academy? Can Ghana have a Right to Dream kind of academy that is national in nature? Those are the questions you should be asking. You talk about France. You talk about
Clairefontaine, yeah.
Yes. When the players come through the ranks, they are linked to local clubs in France. They start from the lower tier. and players are able to force themselves to the top. Those are the structures the YEA and the sports ministry should be concerned about, not play abroad initiative where you claim to be fixing a problem that does not exist. You see, they should be well informed.
See, why
with this thing they want to do.
Why I have free advice for the YEA. Look, this is free advice. This is 8:42 free Monday morning consultation. You don't pay anything. But if the YEA wants to send something, we will take. But this, listen, look, the YEA is what the youth what? What's the youth employment?
Yes, youth
no
employment.
problem. This is what the YEA can do. In addition to, so for example, assuming we had a structure, right, where you had national academies, players were there, they formed the basis of, say, U15. Let's say U15 or even under 12. Let me tell the YEA what it should do. If I were the YEA, should those structures exist, I would insist on giving these young footballers skills, additional skills. So, maybe coding, robotics. Those who are talented with their hands, you teach them something.
Yes.
Maybe art, maybe craft, agriculture. You get it?
Yeah.
So as you camp them as a national academy, you begin to sift them to see who's good at what. So when they start, let them all try different things in addition to the football. It will settle. You find those who like art, those who even like music, those who like something else, those who are business minded.
Yes.
And then the YEA can engage them to sharpen these other skills that they have. As they do the football on one side, as they get the conventional education, they are getting all these skills development on the other side.
Yeah.
So even if you start from age 10 and they are in the National Academy to age 17 or 18, that is 7 to 8 years of solid grounding in making them employable, assuming the football doesn't work.
Well. Yeah. That is it.
In making them employable. Right? Because the YEA's larger mandate, if you like, broadly, is to ensure that young people are engaged, they are employed, they are well off.
Yeah.
So in the 7-8 years they spend at the National Academy, teach them other things. Figure out which of them. I'm saying if you start by age 10, even by age 12, in 2 years, you know where everybody gravitates towards.
Absolutely.
There are those who want to work with their hands. Find a module that trains them. There are those who have all kinds of wonderful skills they didn't even know they had. Some people will be there, they are great with their hands, are making crafts. Some people are good with their hands, are even cutting hair. Some people are good with their hands, are doing all kinds of things, electronics. So as they play the football from age 10, you are giving them these other skills on the side. If those skills even mean football, right? Even staying in football. There are those who are gifted players, but you can tell that, no, this young chap could be a very good coach.
Yeah.
So you start to train them. Or this person can be a good referee. You give them those skills. Or even things they don't know at all. Pitch management. Or player management. So that's what the YEA can do. Teaching them these other employable things. So by the time they are 18, 19 at best, they have solid skills in other things. So even at 25, if the player says, you know what, this football thing is not for me, he would have had a great base in learning these other employable skills.
Absolutely.
So his transition into regular life is easy. He's already had the training, he has the skills, has the certification, he can work or she can work.
Yeah.
And they are fine. I think that is what the YEA must be hell-bent on doing.
Yeah.
Because this pathway of wanting to move players, it already exists.
And it's seamless.
It is seamless. It already works. So YEA, Charlie, focus on other things. Look, YEA, I'm saying if you listen to me, these are great additions you can add to the football space that will add more value to the players. And you can claim this, and you see, you would have been doing your work properly as YEA seamlessly without any issues. The only thing is that you are now dealing with footballers who have other skills, but you would have been adding other things to them to make them super employable, assuming the football doesn't work out.
You see, Nathan, so just getting to a bit of the stats. just for the sports ministry and YEA to know, Ghana ranked 7th in FIFA's Global Transfer Report 2023.
Okay, 2023.
2023, and I'll give you 2024 numbers as well. So, when you look at a total of 630 Ghanaian players were involved in transfers over the period from 2022 to 2023. And in all, 179 different nationalities were represented by at least one professional player who moved across the border to join a new club within that period. Okay. In 2024, 295 Ghanaian players moved out of the shores, were transferred. Some from here, some from abroad. Okay. So if you are looking, and Ivory Coast, 153, Nigeria, 562, Senegal, 212. So the numbers are there. You see, the data is there to prove transfers on the continent.
There's not
You see, there's not a challenge.
Especially when you look at Ghanaian players.
You see, when it comes to tracking the players to know where they are going to and how they are moving, there's a record, there's data. Unless the player wants to go abroad and doesn't want to become a professional player, that one, if he decides to go wherever, and if he's hoodwinked by unsuspecting agents and all, that one, it is his matter. But that matter will not come back to the FA, or will not come back to the government of Ghana, and then anybody will come and tell us, oh, this player moved from Ghana and is stranded in, say, Senegal or Papua New Guinea or Panama. Because that player will not be holding an ITC. So indeed, that person cannot even be considered a footballer. Okay, why is his ITC? For you to say, oh, it's a Ghanaian player who was shipped out. It doesn't happen.
Because no Ghanaian player leaves Ghana and does not know where he or she is going.
Every Ghanaian player by this time has a card. Registered card.
Yes.
So they have their cards with the FA. Every player, whether it's coach, Division 1, Division 2, they have cards. They have registration cards. So Nathan, if that player wants to go abroad, there's a channel, they know. So this thing that we are behaving as if we want to prevent people from migrating, we want them to migrate properly. And I'm confused. Nathan, you've told them what to do. Simple. If they are interested,
consultation.
If they are interested, they should focus on doing that. If the FA had come up with these concerns, they will be coming from a place of
knowledge. Yes,
they know exactly what happens in the space. But the FA has been quiet ever since this matter came up.
Because really, there's no problem to solve.
What is the YEA trying to solve? And the sports ministry is supporting it. You see, that is where sports ministry. How many reports does the sports minister have on his desk that Ghanaian players are stranded abroad, or Ghanaian players are washing plates somewhere? Ghanaian footballers are being trafficked for sex. How many of these reports does he have on his desk that it has become a problem that he and the YEA want to solve? No, they should tell us, because they should tell us what they know. Then we will now understand them, and now we will now be asking the FA why all these players are going outside the net. Then we'll go and ask the Ghana Football Association why all these players are going outside the net and are stranded elsewhere. Okay, so the YEA should come again. They've brought a release. It is not satisfactory. It has even worsened what they wrote earlier on. And they said they want to partner agents, accredited agents, to come and ship players out. I don't know the same agents who are looking for talent here, or the YEA has special talent for them. Or the YEA will be grooming special talent for those special agents.
Where? Grooming them where?
To come and move those players out.
I don't know, grooming them where? In whose house?
Maybe the YEA have a special incubator. That is grooming players for them. For those agencies to help, for those agencies to come for, with the help of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the GFA, the Sports
and
Ministry,
the point is that,
and the International Migration Organization, IOM.
Even if they are these special incubator players you are even talking about, how are they going? Which cards are they taking there?
Yes.
Who's giving them an ITC?
The FA. Nathan, you see, they shouldn't try to fix what... Nathan, all the Ghana Premier League clubs, the 18 of them, or the 48 Division 1 clubs, all those players, they want to go abroad. All those players.
Yeah.
They believe they are very good.
Yeah.
And most of them want to go abroad.
No problem.
But per the statistics, we know that
a few of them,
just a few of them would make it.
Yes. And you see, And again, why? If these numbers are the numbers you are concerned about, it is not. The reason is that there is a player development issue.
Yes.
There is a technical issue and there's a quality issue. So that is not a YEA matter. That is more of a wider, it's more GFA problem.
Yes.
And a sports ministry problem because we don't have a proper policy. How are we developing players? What kind of players are we developing? Do you have a national play style? Do you have a philosophy? Do you have a DNA? Do you have an academy? Those things.
Who are the people training the players?
So those things are more technical than all of that.
And
so
where are we camping the
where
players?
are we there?
Do we have a right to dream kind of facility?
So Ghanaian players not moving outside.
Do we have a Kojo Asamoah kind of
Very
facility?
good. Ghanaian players not moving outside. It's never a migration problem.
No.
It is a quality problem.
Absolutely. When they come, they pick just a few.
It's a quality problem.
When they go to Ivory Coast, they pick just a few. Just a few make it. When they go to Nigeria, they pick just a few. So it's not as if you have abundance of talent and they are not coming for them. When they come, they see, they want, and they pick what they want. This young boy from Dreams FC, Aziz,
Yes.
fantastic player. What happened to him when he went to Basabi?
Charlie.
He was not trafficked though. He was not smuggled though.
Yeah.
He went via the channel. When he went, what did Basabi say?
Say Charlie.
We can't keep him.
Yeah.
They sent him back.
Standard.
But the boy is a good player. But per their standard, it's not fit enough. Let us look at how we can make our players attractive. Let us, if you want to run a right to dream model, that is
That's the
national
thing.
in nature.
Why is it that players from Senegal are always going
Yeah.
and they are getting
They're getting
big
big
breaks?
teams. They're getting to play. They should go to you see, sports minister, go to Senegal. Go and look at the models they run there. Go and look at the models there. You see, and it's the francophone. A lot of the francophone countries
They are getting it right.
are getting it right because they've adopted certain models, the academy model, and it's working for them. Mali is doing it, Ivory Coast is doing it, Senegal is doing it. They're all doing it, and it's paying. They are getting results. So if the YEA is interested, the sports minister, if they are interested in doing something,
is what they must.
that is what they should be doing, and stop this. You want to sanitize player transfer? Why?
It's why the
No,
FA is
what
doing
have you
that.
what have you groomed? What have you produced that you want to transfer? You want to streamline transfer. What have you produced that you want to export? That you want to bring policies to manage the exportation? When the people who are at the heart of it already have their own systems and rules that govern the
It
exportation,
works. And it works well.
and it works well, seamlessly. So today I'm a cocoa producer. Now a body outside cocoa board
Says it wants to sell.
says now they want to sell cocoa.
No way.
So they'll streamline it by using Ministry of Agric and something.
Cocoa board is there.
Cocoa board is there.
8:55. So yeah, those are just our thoughts on the statement. Charlie, we don't think the statement has clarified anything. No. That's what I've said. Listen, why I've given you free advice this morning. Free advice on what you must do. But whatever it is, I think you must do should exist in a structure that is not in existence.
Yeah.
So the sports ministry and the GFA and the government must sit and have a conversation where we create the environment and the structure. Then we can bring in the YEA to provide the additional employable skills and opportunities for these young footballers. Not in football, but outside football. So when they are already being grouped and trained as an academy, the YEA can come in and say, oh, these guys are in the National Academy. As YEA, we want to ensure that when they leave football, they will have skills.
Yes.
So from age 10, maybe they'll say, yeah, age 10 is still youth, right? They have some definition before youth, whatever. Juveniles.
They come all the way to youth
So
level.
from age 10, YEA, what we want to do is we want to give them employable skills. So what are they good at? Or what do we want to do? We want to make them literate, coding, app writing, business management, business skills,
Media.
arts and craft, media. Because you see, despite the fact that they are all footballers, they all have interest. Because in their mind, the football is not the hobby.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
What they want, yeah.
So they'll have interest in other things. Look, why I'm telling you, if this structure exists and you do it, by 18, 19, all these young footballers will have great employable skills. You will be amazed
So if they fail at football, that's
at the life they'll make for themselves. And you would have done your work. You would have empowered them brilliantly. for life as adults. That would be it, and there will be as equal value as the carpenters and masons you are sending outside. These young footballers will also have things to do. Anyway.
Yeah, Nathan. So I'm talking
finish up
in the NDC manifesto.
Yes.
They said they were going to pay allowances for players. They were going to pay players allowance.
Okay.
So the YEA should facilitate that as well. And that is an avenue they can look at. Facilitate the payment of allowance,
especially for the players that fall within the youth bracket,
yes.
And they play football. What can the YEA do?
They said to
get them allowances?
They should give them support.
Rather
than be interested in sending them abroad. Send them abroad. But I want to develop our local game. But send them abroad. But we want to develop our local game.
Ray, as for sending players abroad, we all admit not everybody will be here.
Yes.
So.
And just a few will go.
Anyway.
Just a few will go. But they say when the players start from juvenile till they get
only
1% become pro.
Yeah.
Only 1%. And Nathan, don't you have mates who are very good footballers but never cut it?
Oh, yeah.
My good friend Lukman. Evergreen. Lukman was playing football. Callisto babies.
Yeah.
He played
in a year group, who did we have? What's the name of the guy? The guy went to Achimota. Is it up here? So I can't remember. Wonderful football.
So you metamorphose into another field because football doesn't happen, and not everybody. Nathan, haven't you seen players?
Oh, of course.
This morning, if you go to that park,
where
Baleshi, you see talent. If you go to the AstroTurf in East Legon, you see talent. Not all of them will make it here. So it's not by force that you should deliberately create a plan to export players, play abroad initiative. It is not by force. Let the system run. Find a way to give value to your players here. Find a way to make sure in the next 4, 5, 6 years, talent from Ghana will be the most talked about.
Yeah.
Today they are talking about talent from Senegal. Why? What are they doing right in Senegal? That a lot of Senegalese players are out there playing the big leagues. Why are Moroccan players suddenly more sought after?
Malian players.
Why are we talking about them? They are doing something right. Let's get it right. But let's stop this play abroad initiative and things you want to safeguard, streamline, create pathway for players to be migrated abroad. Stop it.